Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. With me today, making a triumphant return to the ring after too long of an absence. What's up, Sean?
Not much. How you doing, Nick? It's been a little while.
I know. It's been a while since I've said I'm sorry or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's the 90s now.
Gotta do it like that. Gotta do the fake Eddie Vedder voice almost with that one.
Dude, I saw Stained perform once, and Aaron Lewis, he got up on stage, and I don't know if he's a super introvert, but he just crouched down, like on his feet, but his knees bent, and he put his face down like into his crotch with the microphone, and he sang down there the entire time. He didn't move for the whole set. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's thighs have to be able to lift mountains. Like, how can you hold that position, man? He just sat down there, and I was like, this isn't animated or interesting at all, but I'm enthralled. How do you do this? But yeah, it was not a great show. Not a great show. Oh, so dude, I'm happy to have you back. We will be joined at some point by a no tie, Andrew Branca. And I want to settle everybody's expectations on Branca here. We are not going to be going through the letter he received and did a stream on earlier today. We will briefly talk about it and mention it, but we are going to set up a show where we will do the reading of that letter, I believe this coming week, and we'll announce that, and we'll do that together in dramatic and hilarious fashion. And then I believe we will auction off his t-shirt and donate it to charities. I think that's the plan. Well, we can ask him right now because here he is. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, sorry. Is this working?
Yes,
That's time. All right.
Yeah, you suddenly got an
Hey Nick,
octave.
hey Sean, how you doing?
Good to see you. I was listening to your thing. Yeah, I just want to say that was very revealing that they're willing to fuck their clients over because they don't like you.
I mean, it's not like I got their client acquitted of murder or anything.
No big deal. Don't even worry about it. That's easy.
Yes, I'm sure they're going to find a ton of, communist ball-licking attorneys who are very good at self-defense law, because that's where you're going to find them. You're going to find them singing La Internationale, at the Communist Bar. That's where you're going to find them, not at the shooting range or in a gym.
And it's funny, when you read the mission statement of the Public Defender's Office, as you might expect, it's basically about, providing world-class, legal representation, barring any kind of politics or race or LGB or whatever, until they meet me. Until they meet me. I'm the line too far.
Like, could you imagine? That's the only thing I wish, that I had omniscience for. Like, everybody, when you're a kid, you want the superpowers. Like, oh man, I could see everything. Well, I could think of some great places to be. Hello, Pamela Anderson. Well, not anymore. But anyway, you could think of all these hilarious scenarios. It's like, no, the only thing I want omniscience for is I want to be over the shoulder of the Colorado public defender as he pulls up Branca's Twitter timeline. He's like, well, let's see what this guy talks about. He must be a legal defense guy on Twitter. Oh my God. His ovaries probably shriveled up and crawled into his ears.
It is so funny. She mentions that in her letter. She's like, well, I wish we'd looked at your social media first. I'm like, well, whose fault is that? I was wondering why you invited me. I didn't know.
Well, before the speaking engagement, I guess I could see, right? Like, I don't agree, but I could at least see, but not before the defense of the defendant. Like, well, we would like him to defend this guy. Except...
No, those guys were great. So the public defenders at trial were great. They were good lawyers. I mean, I got no issues with them at all. A good lead counsel, good co-counsel. Very, very. I mean, we strategized the defense. He used my slides. He used my PowerPoint slides in his closing. I mean, obviously, we worked together well, and we got the acquittal for the client. They were fine. That's why when I talked about it today, I blacked out their names because I'm not trying to embarrass those people. They did great work. It's just this head of training gal who decided because she was feeling angst to send me a four-page typed single spaced letter about all the reasons why I was a racist, misogynist, BIPOC hating, minoritizing. I didn't know that was a verb.
Minoritizing?
Minoritizing, yeah. Apparently,
wait, that's where you can make people minorities.
Apparently, that's what I was doing.
That's amazing.
Mostly because I inadvertently interrupted a yoga class, a BIPOC yoga class that was happening in the room that I was speaking in, that I showed up early to so I could get the AV stuff done. You know, make sure that
you told me about that.
Right.
I remember that story. I didn't realize that was the same chain of events here. That's
well,
fantastic.
the letter hadn't arrived yet. I just got the letter
yeah.
yesterday, so I had forgotten about it. But apparently it was a big fucking deal.
I mean, she had that much time to type out literally 8 pages of bullshit. You know, I'm glad she got the rest of all of her work done for however long that took.
You know, all I can say is I am blessed in life. I mean, I've already made more money off this stupid letter than I would have charged them for the consult in the first place if I wasn't doing it pro bono. And I expect to multiply that many times over. Although I will say, so far the money raised is for my wife. I promised everybody I would spend that on Emily. Future revenue raised off this letter will go to pro Second Amendment foundations as a charity contribution. I'm sure the public defender's office in Colorado will appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And God, that's great. I love it. I love that whole thing. I don't get these people. Like, I don't understand.
No, their ideology is more important than their purported mission. So it's more important to them to be woke than it is for them to effectively defend their clients, which is completely contrary. By the way, the whole office its authority derives from statute. The Colorado legislature in 1970 passed a statute that said, we're going to create you, public defender's office, and your purpose is to provide world-class legal representation of the indigent. And they're just deciding, well, we'll do that right up to the point where we don't like the person.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, because because I've been in the public defender's office before. It doesn't matter who they are, and in all honesty, like when I get called to take,
they're defending child rapists every day, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Right.
Like if I get calls, like, hey, will you defend this guy? If they'll ask me, and I'm like, if I like, okay, what is it? Am I, it's not like a death penalty case where I'm not qualified for it. Okay, what is it? What happened? Yeah, sure, I'll represent him. Yeah, I've represented, like Wellington once said, like the absolute scum of the earth, but that's part of the hustle. That's part of the game. And if you don't like
those people are entitled to justice too, right?
Well, they're the ones who
they might not be guilty.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, I know that's like the weird controversial part that we all skip, because it's like, well, they're entitled to a defense. Well, they also might not have done it. Now, I know a lot of them did.
So the guy I defended was charged with murder, manslaughter, and negligent homicide. So the state clearly believed he was guilty of all those crimes, right? That's why he was at trial on those charges. Yep. The judge was just sitting there hearing the arguments. The jury is just sitting there hearing the arguments. The defense has to keep that guy out of prison.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the system.
And by the way, they ultimately, the jury decided, I provided my expert witness testimony for hours on Friday. They went home for the weekend. They came back on Monday. They acquitted the guy on all those charges. And when they were interviewed afterwards, they said, oh yeah, Attorney Andrew Branca, his testimony was decisive.
Also, his views on marriage.
Oh yeah.
I
told him, I said, you female jurors, why are you even here? Why aren't you home baking bread?
First thing, Andrew gets on the stage. He's like, actually, Judge, I'm going to make a motion to dismiss all female jurors.
They're in no position to judge men.
It's so wild, though, because it's like, yeah, it is the public defender's office. You're providing this insane resource of complete free, not only free analysis and consultation, but then ultimately the expert testimony as well. And it's like, you do this, and then they're like, well, but we don't like the way you think. It's
I was rude to the yoga group in the corner of the 300-person meeting room.
How I think. Like,
by the way, that was not yoga. I don't know what the F those broads were doing with those conference room chairs. But
yogurts, trust me.
I've done yoga. That was not yoga.
Guys, you got to put that on a shirt. Branca's face, it just says, "I've done yoga."
I should hand Sharpie it onto the public defender's shirt. We're going to auction off.
Oh my God.
Oh, and then she told me I had to return the shirt or destroy it.
That's
I'm
the
like, where did you learn property law, ma'am? You gave me that shirt. That was my sole
You're in charge of training. How do yes, you should know this stuff.
No, you don't
that's
understand.
My shirt now. I own it.
No, when you signed your free agreement or whatever for representation or for your expert witness agreement, then there was also a limited license to utilize their imagery on a T-shirt.
I had to return it to her at her office. That was what Karen and Jennifer instructed me to do. Like, maybe not.
I can't imagine
when you bring it back. It's like, well, that's just a great job soaking up ball sweat, but here you go.
And she's a law professor too.
Yeah. Oh wow! Now I believe everything you say.
That's good, right? That's good.
Most of them are
her
terrible.
Students are who we're going to be arguing against. Apparently, the 300 people in the audience, the BIPOC. She's very racist. She's always talking about BIPOC, indigenous, all these little intersectional groups. They were traumatized. She can't point. She says in her letter, well, you didn't say anything explicitly racist. Because of course I did.
You're going to smoke y'all.
Wait, you didn't even say anything explicitly racist?
I did show a picture of a black gun, and apparently that was the trigger.
Jeez. I mean, 50% of crimes are committed by 13% of guns. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to worry about those silver guns as much. You're much less likely to be killed.
I did show a picture of a light colored gun too. It was like a light beige colored Glock, like a sand colored Glock, but that wasn't enough to save me.
An Arabic Glock. Does it just explode when you pull the trigger? I'm taking you with me, fucker. Inshallah.
It shoots backwards.
Oh my God. So yeah, I was saying right before you came on, Andrew, we're not going to go through the letter tonight, though. We're going to set up a show when the auction stuff is all ready, and then we'll like announce it ahead of time and try and get some hype around it and stuff, and get people in, and we'll go through the letter and should we like compose a response too? Like, what should we do?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll think about that. Yeah, okay. I'll give that some thought. Today the response was just me talking about it on video, but.
I love drafting responses, and I love doing it live while drinking because it makes it so much more fun.
You're good at that, man. You have a talent. I'm not sure I could pull it off, but I'll send you a copy of the letter. Oh, I sent it to you already.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
If you would like to do a response on my behalf, I would have no argument against that. You are skilled at that task, sir. I'd have to write it out and like read it from a piece of paper.
We'll see what we do with that. We'll see what we do with that, but that would be hilarious. Mix in some good, not explicitly racist stuff. No,
imagine how frustrated she must have been when she realized that I was not actually a member of the Colorado bar, so she couldn't actually hurt me that way.
What was she going to try and do? Like,
I don't know. She denied me permission to wear a T-shirt. God knows what she would try to do.
How did you find the most powerful woman in Colorado?
It's amazing. She found me, Nick. You know how it works. The pheromones.
Oh my God.
I'm just a giant C-word magnet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even. I was gonna go into some alternate.
I mean, clarity.
I'm not.
Clarity, of course. Clarity,
yes, of course.
Is the keyword.
Clout magnets. It's the social media thing. So tonight, very very laid back sort of plan here. We may be joined by Jeff. I also sent an invite to Aussie, and I sent one to MLS. Wait, it was MLS, right? Making Law Simple.
Dave.
Yeah. I sent a what you call it, a link to Dave. He can join whenever. But I just figure we got some funny stuff that's in the news. One of them I think is right up y'all's alley. Sean being a criminal lawyer and Andrew being Andrew. And it's right up my alley because it's here in Minnesota. This is in Minneapolis. A police officer pulled over a guy, and after about 10 minutes, he realized that he was a subscriber to her OnlyFans.
Oh shit.
And then he
didn't keep his mouth shut. He got inappropriate.
No, he told her I don't even think you can arrest me anymore because I've seen your privates. So, which I wanted to go through the validity of that legal defense to arrest. Yeah.
I almost got pulled over on my motorcycle the other day. If I just show my privates on the internet, can I get out of tickets? That would be great.
No, you have to look at the cops' privates who pull you over. Like you have to look at.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So you may have to take one for the team on that one. But yeah, I figure we've got that. I've got a couple other silly law stories, and then my locals, I sent out a request for other stuff. If people in the chat have some, r/legal advice or whatever, we just kind of laugh and shoot the shit. There's a bunch of serious stuff going on. And we might talk a little bit about some of it, but it's Friday, right? Let's tell some jokes, have some fun, and just kind of get into the more lighthearted parts of life.
Hey, Sean, can I tell you, I like your camera angle much better this way.
Thanks.
How you had it previously.
So I didn't mean to take you guys off. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I didn't even notice. That looks great. Fantastic, man.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you. So we have this. This is from October 7th. This just happened. So cop recognizes OnlyFans model by subscriber she pulled over.
Oh, the woman was the cop. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, the woman was the cop. Yeah, saw your husband last night for $29.99 is what he says to her.
Oh my God, they make that much money?
Minneapolis police. Minneapolis Police Department is investigating an officer for her side gig as an OnlyFans model after she pulled over a subscriber during a recent traffic stop. The unidentified cop who works in the city's 4th precinct is being probed, incidentally, on OnlyFans as well, for any policy violation she may have committed running the adult content subscription service while working for the department. And this actually, I think, does have some legalizing to do. The driver said it took him 10 minutes to recognize the 35-year-old officer as someone he's seen over the past 5 months, have sex and post explicit photos online. We were doing a little talking and I checked and I was like, man, she got an OnlyFans page. I'm on her OnlyFans page, the driver told Fox 9. You got to go to the VIP and you get to see videos of her and her, I guess, husband. I guess that's
very important, police.
They do full sex videos. Department opened an investigation into the account, which states that she is free-spirited, overly optimistic, creator of sexy content to please others.
The perfect OnlyFans girl. Free-spirited and overly optimistic.
I love it. They blur out her picture and her face and name and stuff, but the rest of it's right there. So you could probably find it just by like looking that up. But I don't know. I don't know if you can actually search these things on OnlyFans.
Oh my Lord.
We take any allegations of policy violation seriously, and the chief has ordered an investigation. Chief of Police Brown, who gets to sign that?
He's gonna investigate that OnlyFans page pretty closely.
Well, you have to thoroughly do it.
Like, do we have any volunteers? Everybody's we'll do it. We'll do it together as a department. Speaking of doing it together, hey, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Dave.
There we go. My mic was off. How we doing, guys?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
So far, so good.
What are you up to, man?
Not a whole lot. I've been working my way through the Whitmer trial, getting ready for a couple other trials coming up. Yeah, that's about it. That Whitmer case, it was so much better now watching it after learning the outcome. Tend not to like it, but it makes it much more hilarious to watch for sure.
Yeah, that one was wild because that was the last trial of the last 3 guys, right?
Yeah, the last 3 guys, the Knoll brothers and Eric Molter or something like that. Yeah, and it was like stressful and just angry watching it. And then when we, because I was a little behind, and then we got the verdict, and now I'm still watching it, and now it's just kind of hilarious because we know they were all acquitted. Right. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Nice. You know what I love about lawyers? They're so cool that they all are able to gather on live streams at Friday nights.
We got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
So we're just right in the middle of this. This is from my neck of the woods. A guy gets pulled over in Minneapolis, and he realizes during the stop that he's a subscriber to the female cop's OnlyFans.
Well, good for... I don't know. I think you'd be looking at her a little different way. Did he get out of the ticket?
Real.
I don't know if he got out. I don't remember if he got out of the ticket. I guess let's check it out. So he realizes 10 minutes in that he was looking at her OnlyFans, just like the night before or whatever. He pays $29.99 a month for this thing. And And now the chief of police has ordered an investigation into the OnlyFans page to see if it violates policy.
Can you give tips on OnlyFans? I don't have an account for.
I have no idea.
I'd be like opening that app and like hitting the dollar signs, you know,
Right. Holding up your phone like officer, ting, 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 ting.
Each one is 1 mile per hour less. No, I don't know. I've always thought about opening one as like a joke because it would like get people incensed for a while and it'd be just completely mundane. But
I would do it. I did it today.
You open an OnlyFans?
I took my pants off on camera.
Andrew, to take your pants off, you have to wear them. So I'm already at a disadvantage. But here we go. So the Minneapolis MPD's off-duty employment policy prohibits office. So I wanted to ask questions on this. If you guys, what's your opinion on it? It prohibits officers from working in any business that, quote, is not compatible with police work, including, quote, any establishment that provides adult entertainment in the form of nude, semi-nude, or topless exhibitions. So,
from
your hats, is OnlyFans
she's
an
established
establishment?
an establishment. She's got a business running this.
Mm-hmm.
But does this rule mean an establishment as in the intangible form of a business entity, or do they mean an actual physical establishment?
I mean, when they wrote it, obviously they meant like a tangible location, but obviously it's morphed since then.
I mean, the bottom line, of course, is it's ridiculous that women are police officers. That's a joke right there. So
Yeah.
Cuts right to the chase there. From an employment standpoint, I mean, God, I mean, if your duties as a police officer are being affected by your other job, you know, like any job, if your second job is interfering with it, then it could be an issue. I mean, there's nothing unlawful about it. And I don't even know how it would affect the guy's case, other than it would make for a very interesting trial, I guess.
I don't know. So the general provision here, ignoring the fact that like the online versus physical brick and mortar sort of question, I'm not sure how like topless dancing or whatever would be not compatible with police
business?
work.
What if it was any other business? Any other business? It was the dentist office. It was anything. And your customers were coming in and they'd seen your dental hygienist shove cucumbers in various places on our body.
That's the
Is that good for
hygienist
your
I would
business?
request every time.
No, of course you would. But maybe the wives and the kids wouldn't be as inclined to come into the business.
Maybe. I mean, I guess it depends on the demeanor of the person. Now, in a related
Her
story,
demeanor, I think we know what her demeanor was.
when a related story from a couple years ago, Sasha Grey, a former adult film star, she tried to be.
Well, she was great. She's a champion. I'm a big fan.
she tried to be like a kindergarten or an elementary school teacher, and all the dads like kept coming and going, like, I know you, and that was that was disruptive to the teaching. But in this one, like I don't know how being a topless dancer or a nude entertainer impacts her police work in a practical way. Like I see what you're saying with a dental hygienist, right? Because you have to choose to come into the shop. But with the police officer, it's kind of the opposite, right? Like they're coming to you.
Yeah.
Like you're not going into the police station soliciting.
No, but it's not just the public. It's like other officers, right? So male officers in the department are going to know this. Trust me. If anybody knows this chick has an OnlyFans page, it's the other male officers, right?
Well, there's more than that. It's you get stopped by this person, and I want to make sure I say this right. It's the cop with the OnlyFans, right? Or the person they stopped. I mean, how much respect are you going to have for somebody where it's like, I just watched you, shove a flashlight up your asshole 15 minutes ago before you stopped me? Like, how much respect am I going to have for that person?
I know it sounds like a joke when I say women shouldn't be cops, but I'm really serious because that attitude is the real bad guys. The bad guys who will attack police officers, they don't give a fuck if you're a female police officer. They don't really care if you're a male police officer. They might still try to take you. But if you're a 130-pound female police officer, they don't care about you. They don't care about your badge. It's like if you were a 130-pound male police officer, they can take you. And if they see you as vulnerable, they will attack you. And I think we're putting these female cops in a terrible position. I mean, we're putting these tiny people in a world where the bad guys are 220 pounds, have been lifting weights in a prison for 10 years. They're just going to die.
And you want to, I mean, if you want to put them in a terrible position, they belong on OnlyFans. All right, no. So allegedly, according to my locals, they've been sleuthing around. This is allegedly the female police officer.
Please tell me she wore her uniform on her OnlyFans page.
No, hopefully she's not that dumb.
No, that's obviously a fake police hat.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to disagree with you, Sean, because you implied that queen would be dumb. But look, OnlyFans
She's
is
a
a tough
hoe.
gig. OnlyFans is a tough gig. And you'll see a lot of people say stuff like, well,
Nick says from experience.
they'll say only the top 1% make whatever, the bottom 99% make 10 of accounts make like $12 a month or less, which is true. And there's some numerical reasons for that and stuff like that. But it's not the easiest thing. It's going to get harder and harder as more people join. This, becomes more and more ubiquitous, right? The way to stand out, I'm going to do it right now. This is how you succeed on OnlyFans. You're welcome for the free advice. You be woman of relative attractiveness. You do not have to be very attractive. We're talking a 6+, maybe even a 5+. You can do this. You go to your real job and you record your OnlyFans content in uniform at your job discreetly, like in a, but identifiably at your place of employment. Get fired and then get these places to run the story, and your OnlyFans page will blow to the moon. This chick, if she recorded in her police uniform and got fired for it and then did a video in cuffs the next day, she would make $1 million. $1 million hitting the news with it.
Yeah, this used to happen 20 years ago, actually, in the old Playboy magazines, where a buxom chick who was a female police officer would take a bunch of photos at the police station, like in the locker room, and they'd leak out, and she'd get a high profile, and Playboy would hire her, and she'd make $1 million being a centerfold in Playboy. Of course, she'd lose her police job, but let's face it, most cops aren't paid all that much to begin with.
No, we've had a rash of towns having their entire police departments desert them around Minnesota, small towns.
This is a problem, right? This woman, her police department is probably the standard today is about 30% understaffed. So can they afford to lose her?
What did they say? What department she worked for? I'm assuming the story did. I didn't know.
Yeah, precinct 4 in Minneapolis, apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So here's another picture of her allegedly.
Somali guys are really going to respect her.
Look at those forearms. Who's she fighting? Come on.
So, allegedly, this would be her as well. I guess. I don't think they stock photoed that one, but I mean, they could have. I don't know, right? But yeah, it's an interesting question. But I think you brought up.
If you saw a guy with forearms like that, would you be afraid of taking them?
No, I know I can kick my own ass.
Okay, so to get Branca off this track of female cops, how about a female teacher with an OnlyFans?
I could beat her too. What do you mean?
Well,
he's like, that's even easier fight.
He's like, I can even beat the top 1.8% of OnlyFans models.
She's a female teacher. She probably can't even do math.
They can all get guillotine choked.
No, see, in that one, that one is an interesting one. I don't mind.
No, but the question is, I guess, with the teacher, right? Because the students are going to find her an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I took 3 years of Spanish in high school from a Spanish teacher whose ass was so fine in those jeans that all I can do is order beer. I mean, after 3 years of Spanish, I can say dos cervezas, por favor, because I was just looking at her ass the whole time. So imagine if, of course, we didn't have OnlyFans back in the dark ages before the internet, but imagine if it was that much worse. Do you want a teacher teaching your kids who's on OnlyFans, and especially the male children, or maybe the girls too? I don't know these days, but it's also ill-defined. Have been watching her working with cucumbers on the weekends. I mean,
that's
how's
my
that
point.
work
I think just the existence of the account would interfere with the teacher's employment, and I also think the same for the cop.
It used to be able to
the job is supposed to have a purpose.
Cucumbers. When you used to say working with cucumbers, you just meant a hospice nurse, but now it means something so much different because of this OnlyFans shit.
The job's supposed to have a purpose, right? The teacher is supposed to be teaching. The law enforcement officer is supposed to be doing law enforcement, and all the sexual stuff. If they're neck deep in it, in the environment that bleeds over into work, how can they do their job?
Yeah, the hard part, I want to say that there would be an age of student where the OnlyFans page wouldn't really matter, right? Like you could see a younger teacher, whatever, but the parents and then their coworkers, that's where it always
Those
comes
dads
down to
walking into the parent-teacher conference.
The real problem is the moms, and appropriately so. I'm not criticizing the moms, but no mom wants to send her husband into a parent-teacher conference with a hoe. Right. I mean, what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah, I agree. Why would they? And it would. The other thing is, once the mom found out, right, about the teacher, she'd be immediately suspicious of anything the dad ever does or says, no matter how innocent. Like he would be. Could you? That's what I wouldn't want as a dad. If like you find out that a teacher at the school is whatever, and like you walk past them in a hallway. You'd be waiting to get admonished. And it's like, I was literally looking at the wall. Well, you were only looking at the wall because you're going to look at her later. Like you can imagine already like how that shit's going to go. It's like, God, no, I don't even fucking care. That would be the most annoying part of it. But no, I think many professions, sex work typically doesn't jive with it. It's not going to allow, like, you're just not going to have it if it's at all open and honest. Now, if you're a prostitute and it's illegal and no one can find out, or otherwise you're getting arrested anyway, I think that's not that big of a deal, probably.
There's a reason we have OnlyFans, and OnlyFans is not on Twitter. All right. We segregate sex from the rest of
it's
society.
On Twitter.
I know.
Twitter has more sex than pretty much any platform that exists.
Yeah, and most of the OnlyFans girls have Twitter accounts too.
Speaking of sex on platforms, what's up, Jeff?
Hey. Just got done with my OnlyFans stream. Had to pump on here.
It's the Godzilla of sex.
It is.
Oh, no, that's Japan. Sorry.
Did the South Korean police notice? They're like, I see you have an OnlyFans. Hello, Mr. Jeff.
I don't know what OnlyFans are. Sorry, guys.
Yes, Jeff, we're talking about this Minneapolis police officer, a 35-year-old woman who has an OnlyFans. And
Jeff knows her personally.
You know this story?
Well, I know of her, shall we say? I've heard. I've heard there's a page.
So this is interesting though. So Mayor Jacob Frey says if all we're talking about is naked pictures behind a paywall, the mayor has no issue. However, the chief will determine if there are any policy violations. A spokesman from Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says. So he says naked pictures are fine. If it's just naked pictures behind a paywall, that's cool. But I don't know then where that extends. Like the mayor doesn't care though. He's not the chief of police, and actually he's not the chief of anything. He's a weirdo.
So he draws the line at the smaller parts of the K9 unit. Is that where we draw the line?
The driver had a problem with the officer's authority after realizing who she was. Now, gentlemen, I have a problem with the officer's authority before I even know who they are at all. Like before they even get to my car, I'm pissed off. I don't see the problem here. This doesn't sell me on this issue.
I don't know. The mayor's, his line is the front door or the back door or any door.
He said back door.
I don't know. I think you got to understand the mayor of Minneapolis is a guy named Jacob Frey. And one of my friends,
God, that guy.
one of my friends who I won't say anything about other than he's well connected in like liberal and minority communities, as well as in addition to scumbag communities, because it's kind of funny. He's a funny guy. He's very cool. But he was talking to me about the African-American community who Jacob Frey like tries to pander to constantly. Like he'll be out doing twerking contests with his rolled up jeans and stuff like that. And he's like, he's an embarrassment. We make fun of him constantly. Everybody makes fun of him, but he's controllable. Like he has no spine. He has nothing. He's a pander machine. And so they love the shit out of him. So Jacob Frey, like, there's no way he can take a position on a woman doing OnlyFans. That would be contrary to being, a giant CP vagina.
You said take a position on a woman on OnlyFans.
He would never do that. Trust me. But yeah, like if once you understand Jacob Frey, like you said front door back, I don't know what the limit would be, but purportedly, like presumably none. Like I can't imagine where he would draw a line on this because it would be misogynistic, right? For him to do so. How could he understand the plight of a woman just attempting humbly to make $300,000 a month on OnlyFans? I mean,
The harvest cucumbers.
so the guy says, "You can't arrest me no more. I've seen your private parts."
No, listen,
They were
I would-
very
come on.
arresting.
Who? That's.
good
I think that's a
argument.
viable, straight-faced argument. You got to try it, Your
Is
Honor.
that better or worse than a sovereign citizen argument? I'm legitimately torn on this. I'm like, it's not bad. I don't know that it's good, but it's not bad. He says, "I wouldn't want her to be arresting me."
Well, I don't care what she does for a living. I don't want her arresting me.
And I just saw you and your husband last night for $29.99 have sex on OnlyFans. I just can't respect you or the precinct that you're working at.
Wait, you watched it, dude?
You
Oh,
and the
I hope
horse
this
you
is
rode
on body cam. This whole interaction.
God, that would be great.
That's
Wouldn't it?
great.
The timeline
Yeah,
for the
I
department's
love it.
investigation hasn't been released. That's
She'd be like,
Jacob Frey.
"Sir, it's $29.95."
Yes.
That's
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I would have said to her too. It's like, how get out of the car or what? Are you gonna, you're gonna go on camera and start cramming your asshole? Like, what's your skill set? You're gonna be.
Should you just arrest him then? That's funny.
I'd probably make a joke like, "Do you record that with your body cam?" I for you every fucking thing to find out.
Imagine
If
he's
Tom to work.
non-compliant. She whips out her baton, and he just falls over laughing.
Well, yeah, it's like,
Again.
oh, don't shove that up your ass. Oh no.
Look, sweetheart, please hire me as your OnlyFans consultant. I will turn you into a millionaire tomorrow. I'm gonna advise you on these body cam role play videos where you come in and arrest your husband for various stuff, like with the stupid body cam going. We'll do dash cam videos of you pegging him or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
This has all the potential in the world. She needs her name and face plastered across the papers, and then she'll make infinite money. Just please let me help you. Don't do it wrong. Do it right. There's the right way to do it. You can just full on embrace the debauchery.
There was a video I watched just the other day of a woman being arrested by an officer who moonlights as a security guard at a strip club that the woman worked at. It's like, I mean,
Wait, I need to diagram that one.
the cop moonlights as a security guard at the strip club that she works at, and she was hoping that would get her off the hook.
Was she a stripper or a hostess?
A stripper, from what I gather. She was one of the strippers. So he'd seen her naked.
Yeah, but he didn't need to respect her authority. The question is,
True.
has she seen him naked?
The way these monetary fines are, if he had just not done a traffic violation, he probably could have had an entire year of her OnlyFans page.
I don't know. I mean, I get the guy, though, it's ridiculous.
I applaud people harassing our fucking government officials.
Yeah.
So she just
No,
made it fucking easier.
Especially when they're fucking government officials.
Yeah.
I have no problem with him but at the same time, I'm still like, well, like, it's silly, right? Like, I don't respect you. It's like, oh yeah, because of the OnlyFans. That's what did it. Like,
On top of it. I mean,
Great.
give me more reasons.
What was?
oh my God.
God, I want to know so much more. What was
You
you?
should
I
humiliation
want this to
fetish.
go to a trial.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything.
Oh, I'd love to get question. Mr. Martin, why'd you say all these things? Because she's a dirty fucking whore, and that's not only because she takes the government's dime, but she really is a whore. I mean, like the way she gets railed. Holy shit, she just takes it.
Your Honor, here's
Lay it
your OnlyFans page.
The way she gets choked out, it's so dirty.
By the way,
You know,
guess
her-
who else is on our OnlyFans page? Your Honor.
Oh, the
It's like the Untouchables. Your name's in the ledger, Your Honor.
He paid extra for the cucumber.
Let's see. Here we go. Here's a continuation of the story. Let's check this out. Because I want to know more. Fans defend Minneapolis cop after she's outed for moonlighting as OnlyFans creator. No, I think once you become successful on
Imagine
OnlyFans,
sipping for a fucking cop.
you're moonlighting as a cop at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like, Oh yeah. What I was saying is earlier, there'd been a rash of abandonments of entire towns by police departments out here because they're paying these guys $22 an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine being a cop for $22 an hour, even a small town, like kind of quiet, like no way. You got to pull people over on the highway, potentially get shot or whatever, get run over while you're issuing a ticket. Fuck that. 22 bucks.
$20 for McDonald's, $2 extra bucks to get shot at. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your name again? I need to write this down.
I think it might be on here. Let's see. Come on.
The jury's going to be asking for that laptop with the internet connection. Like, we need to review the material.
Evidence.
You know,
And a box of tissues.
yeah, they're gone. They're gone for like 6 days, and the court sends back like a note, like,
No, Your
"Are
Honor,
you
we
back
still
there?
can't arrive.
Yeah, we're still deliberating. Go away."
Oh, I like that lineup there. It said her OnlyFans
Allen
account.
charge after Allen charge.
Her OnlyFans account offered explicit things, including pornography. Really?
Oh.
What's an explicit non-pornographic?
What's the other things?
Yeah, she discusses fucking Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Someone asked, what would happen if the judge or prosecutor pays for a defendant's OnlyFans? Well, I mean, they need to recuse.
That would be I actually no, because I don't think they should. Because remember, only one side's entitled to a fair trial.
You think a judge is going to put his favorite OnlyFans chick in jail? Like,
well, no, that's why he's not going to. Do you think any judge is going to admit that he fucking watches OnlyFans?
She just has to say, "I know you."
It isn't Judge 3325.
My Indian chatbot talked to you last night.
Only one side is entitled to a fair trial. I'm with Sean 100%.
True. Following news of the OnlyFans cop, social media users flooded X, formerly known as Twitter, with supportive comments. Many called out the Minneapolis Police Department for wasting their resources with the investigation instead of focusing on significant issues. It's a waste of time to investigate.
They could have wiped this up.
Remember Gary Hart when just having a pretty woman sitting on your lap got you booted out of a presidential race? And here we are. She's only smashing dudes for money on camera.
He's the guy who had like his intern like mysteriously die, right? Or is that a different guy? Oh, okay.
No, that was the other guy. Yeah.
Oh, it's the other guy. Okay.
She didn't mysterious.
It's a different guy.
She went swimming in the car. That was different.
Yes. Yeah.
But even more recently, the governor of New York, right? I forget his name.
Spitzer, yeah,
right. Spitzer. He quit because he was hooking up with a $3,000 a day, girlfriend experience hooker. That was within I get old. I forget the years, but the last decade or so.
Yeah.
Much more recent than Gary Hart. I'm like, I don't understand why that guy quit. There must have been something else hanging over his head that they were hiding, because Democrats never quit over that shit. Ever.
Especially post Marion Barry. Yeah, I'm snorting coke off a hooker's ass. Reelect me. Okay.
The bitch set me up.
I paid her to be a table, not for sex. James Weatherly says, my friend is a 6-year vet of the county I live in. He just made detective the past year or two, and he's just now at $20 an hour.
That's not a surprise.
How much money do you need to get paid to fight violent people for a living? I mean, Jesus, if you couldn't pay me enough money, it's ridiculous. And I'm a guy who fights people. I fight people 3 days a week. I mean, I fight people in jiu-jitsu 3 days a week. Now, at least I know they're not going to try to kill me. But why would you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't imagine. It's and especially as they keep jacking the minimum wage up, right? Like I think in California, they just raised it to $20 an hour minimum wage. Yeah. And it's like,
didn't you have a whole town's police force quit in Minnesota?
Yeah, good. 2 of them now, I think, have.
No. Well, I just say here in Ohio, we had half of a town's police force get indicted. So that's almost like quitting.
It's Ohio. Ohio is such a funny state because the rural areas are so nice, and the cities like Columbus are such utter shitholes. It's unbelievable.
Yes,
it's like it's worse than many third world countries I've been in. It's horrible. I've actually pulled into hotels in places like Columbus on my motorcycle and just rode around the hotel and just rode away. It's like, I'm not going in there. This is like,
I don't blame you.
This place
so I don't
Ohio gets good around Cincinnati. That's what I say.
That may as well be West Virginia, that far south.
I don't know. I was driving with my kids, and we were coming up on Cincinnati, and I'm like, does anybody need to go to the bathroom? Because I really don't want to stop in the middle of Cincinnati. Oh, no, Dad, we're fine. 10 minutes later, we're in fucking, like, right by some train tracks, of course. Dad, I need to go to the bathroom. God damn it. Of course.
Probably in Over the Rhine. That's where they filmed the first 48.
What is it about train tracks?
We stop and immediately hear gunshots. And I'm like, can you get in the fucking gas station, please? Like, we go in. He's like, oh, bathroom, not for customers. It's like, where do I go? So we went across the street to the McDonald's, and which smells like every McDonald's, like vomit. So they could go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I asked you 10 minutes ago about going to the bathroom. They did the same thing to me in Gary, Indiana. I'm like, why are you like this?
Jesus.
They're just trying to kill you, Dad.
Yeah, we want to just go on a true crime tour.
They heard about the life insurance policy.
I was driving my wife and 2 little kids through Brooklyn one time, and suddenly everyone had to go to the fucking bathroom. We only left an hour ago. I'm like, you don't understand. We're in Brooklyn. you get shot going to the bathroom here.
Depends where you're at in Brooklyn.
Well, okay, this was not a good. This is like by Coney Island. This is not a good.
You were in East New York almost.
And this is probably pre white women taking over Brooklyn.
We
right?
stop at one place, no bathrooms. Brooklyn. Another place, no bathrooms. We stop at a convenience store, and the guy behind the counter is Middle Eastern, and he's like, yeah, okay, your wife and children can go. And he looks at me, he goes, "You have gun?" You have gun. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated because, of course, normally I have a gun all the fucking time, but I'm in New York, so of course I can't have a gun. I'm like, no, I'm the stupid white motherfucker who doesn't have a gun here. I'm the only person within 100 miles of this place that doesn't have a gun.
I don't know. Do you?
He does. Jeff.
Michael, he does.
He definitely does.
Michael, yes, he does.
The worst, I can't remember where it was, but the worst convenience store stop we had was in some metro area. Tried to go to the bathroom, and some guy had been in there a while, and they had to call the cops because he was in there. And like the guy goes up, he's like, doo, 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 and he starts yelling about like, get done doing your heroin and get out, because the guys are irregular. He goes and he unlocks the door, and the guy's just like,
it's my heroin stall
on the toilet, and is like, okay, well, I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to be here in the first place. Glare at my child, like, stop. Why? You have a radar for this, but yeah,
I had, and it was only because of the key. You know, the key is like always attached to something.
Yeah,
this was a key that was honest to God attached to a tire rim.
Yeah,
I've seen that before. It weighed like 20 pounds. You're trying to hold the damn rim while unlocking the door.
Yeah, I know, it's like you're in Saw.
Yeah.
I like when they have it attached to something heavy enough to defend yourself, though, like a big wrench. Yeah. Or like a nightstick. And it's like,
maybe that's why it was attached to the tire rim.
Remember when all the bathrooms were? Remember when they were all outside, like around the side of the building?
Yeah, you had to go around the back.
Yeah, and you're like, oh God, I don't know what this.
That's where the one attached to the tire rim was.
Yeah.
See, now that you mentioned, I think maybe I was given the tire rim for self-defense purposes.
If you get blindfolded, just swing this behind you.
Yeah.
No, that's been a terrific change in a lot of ways with convenience stores. I haven't seen one of those outdoor bathrooms in years. Maybe I'm just driving on better roads.
They're still out there, and they're in the Colorado mountains. I can tell you.
That's where the public defender's training goes. Oh, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Not going to talk about that.
Jennifer.
Okay. All right, guys. I don't want to bring too much political news into this, but I do think it's an important question. What do you guys think of Trump moving for presidential immunity in his stuff? Any of you following that?
You kind of have to.
It seems like the first step. I mean, that's the first logical step.
Do you think it's got a shot? Have any of you looked at it?
I haven't looked at it, but from what I hear about the judge, I doubt it.
Well, it's not this judge that's going to decide it, right? Like, it's going to get probably rejected because there's no precedent for criminal immunity. That'll be the judge's shield, right? Like, wow.
Yeah, Ron Horiuchi is a great example of that being the case.
Yeah, so then
I mean,
then it's going to get
appealed. I literally shot a woman in the fucking face, murdered her, unarmed. An FBI agent did.
Yeah.
And when he got indicted, the DOJ came in and said, "Nope, we're taking it," and then dismissed it. So there is an example of that happening.
But
and it was
the
considered all
DOJ
good.
was in favor of the defendant.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's not
separate
that's
matter.
non-prosecution. That's not a
Separate matter.
dismissal.
Yeah, but they basically said, well, no, they said federal immunity, and they're like, we're not prosecuting.
That's hand waving.
But
by them, not by Sean.
I mean,
That's a district court case, though, right? That didn't make it up to the Court of Appeals or anything, right? It's not precedent.
never went anywhere.
wouldn't need
Yeah.
to.
No, but
Like,
it
he
didn't
wasn't
have to. But
charged,
it's a great. But when people say, "Oh, they've never done it for a criminal case," like bullshit, they don't.
oh
They
no,
have.
there's immunity on criminal cases all the time.
There's
Yeah.
nothing legal about any of this. This is clearly just a political persecution, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's separate.
that should be obvious to everybody on either side of the aisle. I mean, the people who hate Trump, they're happy he's getting politically persecuted. The people who like Trump, they're sad he's getting politically persecuted. But there's no law here. This is not a legal argument.
But there is a very good legal question on, does presidential immunity extend to criminal liability, and then how far does it extend? And in this one, I mean, I read the brief. I thought this would be coming a little sooner, but it's finally here, and I think I think there's a really damn good argument that all of his activity is absolutely under the the auspices of the offices of presidents, and you don't get to defeat immunity just by saying, but he didn't mean it, though. Like he actually had a different purpose. Because if you can defeat immunity by saying, well, he did it maliciously or nefariously, or he's lying about it, then you don't have immunity. That defeats the whole point, because now you're litigating the state of mind of the defendant, and that's not immune. That's still
So,
going
Nick,
to the
because
suit.
I'm not that familiar with this. So, what is the claimed misconduct, and what is claimed to be covered by immunity?
It's all the stuff about the 2020 election.
Okay.
So Trump stating that he believed there was fraud, Trump contacting various legislators, speaking with the Attorney General's office and the DOJ, asking them to investigate.
Oh, is this him saying you should not certify the election stuff?
Yes, Mike. That
Okay.
part is in there with Mike Pence, as well as asking state legislatures to decertify their results. All of that is there. So then the question is, again, eliminating the loaded language of a prosecutor and just saying, does a president's duties involve talking about the federal election of a president and potential fraud and working to remedy that fraud or investigate it? I think, I think that would be under the role of the president and the DOJ. So I think that would be immunity if immunity applies to criminal cases.
What's interesting is in the Whitmer kidnapping trial, there's an FBI agent on the stand being cross-examined about all the feds and the rent-a-feds that were planning, right? Finding the address, driving these guys around, taking these pictures, setting up the training facilities and all this. And the defense counsel said, or asked, doesn't that make then these federal agents then criminals? Aren't they criminally culpable? And the FBI's response was, well, no, because they were state sanctioned.
Right. Just like cops, highway patrol cops can speed to catch a speeder, right? They're not guilty of speeding.
But if you use that very argument, then we have immunity for Trump because he's acting within his authority. If he was to question, say, an election in Ukraine, right? Nobody would bat an eye at it. Right. So no, I think it is 100% within his official capacity, right? And so he should have immunity for all of that nonsense.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, for some reason, it's taken till now for the news to like catch up to it. But the only reason that this is still a question is just because it's never been asked. Like they've never asked the criminal side of immunity, but the civil immunity case.
Obvious. It's so obvious. That's the problem. It's just obvious that it was in his purview of the I'm sorry, I hope you don't mind. I put a link to my channel in there because Kay was asking about it.
Oh,
in your chat.
you can, you're a mod. You can link whatever the hell you want. Like,
all right, very good. No, but it's definitely within his sphere.
Now we all start adding our links.
Post them if you got them, boys. We're going down tonight. No, I agree 100%. And I think it's crazy and that it's taken this long to file it. But the motion is, if you are in a nerdy mood, though, it's really well drafted. Like, it is a very well done motion. The argument is very well sourced. very well cited. It's over argued, but not offensively so. It's 52 pages, which sounds kind of like a lot unless you realize this is a novel issue involving the most unique circumstances in 234 years of American history that we can imagine. So it's really well done, because that easily could have been a 200-page motion on this if they really wanted to blow it out of the water. But it's very concise and succinct, and most of the, a lot of the pages are just citations to the complaint, showing all of the different allegations, because they allege a shitload of specific acts that he is, that bring up
calling the Secretary of State.
I guess I would ask, what if we applied this standard to every prior president?
No, that's the thing though, Andrew, is we did, like, without having criminal immunity on the books, we have. Think about every president ever that has been accused by the other side of doing something criminal.
Right.
And
were they prosecuted?
Zero of them have ever been indicted. Ever.
I mean, just look at Kennedy. Just look at, and it could be Lincoln.
Recently.
It could be
George Bush.
Sure.
Hillary, Al Gore.
Grant.
When he was running, he challenged Grant. Grant was the only one to be arrested. Oh,
he was arrested for speeding in his carriage, though. It was fucking hilarious.
And that was me. I was Grant. They got me.
He praised the officer because he had been cited 3 times for carriage speeding on the same road. And the officer of the DC police said, "I am so sorry, sir, but department policy is 3 citations. I need to arrest you." And he just kind of laughed at him and said, "Do your job, sir." And he went in with him. He was fine with it. Minor infraction. And it was all worked out. But again, he didn't challenge it as presidential immunity. And that also, speeding down the road may not be an official duty of the president.
I will say, I've only ever been arrested once for speeding. Just once, folks.
You were arrested
for speeding?
Well, I was going pretty fast, and
okay.
It was.
How fast were you allegedly going?
I was in Virginia. It was more than 20 over, and more than 20 over in Virginia is automatically reckless driving.
Oh shit!
But it was a very transient arrest. The officer was kind enough to write me up for 19 over. And then I got to take a driving safety course online, and the ticket went away. So it turned out to be a great experience. I'm very grateful to that officer, Bob, by the way. I'm not going to say his last name. Bob, thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
Man, I got just not too long ago. I got 80 and a 65. And it's
because that goddamn car you drive, man. It's not your fault.
It's
not your fault. It's the car's fault.
No, that's the thing. I would have driven my other car much faster than 80. But in that car, I was just kind of So when you on my Mustang, it has different driving modes, and when you put it in sport mode, it's very responsive to the pedal, and so it's actually kind of difficult to accidentally speed. But it's like 6:15 in the morning. No one's on the road. I was running a little behind, and I'm taking my son into I think he was doing speech or something. And so we're just going along, and they pull me over, and he's like, "Got you at 80 and a 65." I was like, "All right." There's no one around. Like, why are you doing? I found out they were training new highway patrol officers that week. So I don't know if that was a trainee or what, but I was like, yesterday I was doing 140 and a 50, so leave me alone. It's like,
you have no idea, sir.
You pulled me over now. I was like, I was just so pissed. It's like, God, I didn't even get. It's not even a fun citation, man. It was boring. Like, I would do 80 in any car I've ever driven in my life, and it's like, no. But yeah. Dark Loose G says, per Wrestler Town, Ohio does a good job keeping our cities small enough that you can get out of them, which I agree with as a resident. So all on, if you're ever up towards the Michigan-Ohio border, you have a bunk if you need. Well. Now, the real question is, how many of you would take a random bunk from China?
Right. Was that followed by a bunch of hearts or?
Yeah. No,
XO.
It was a bunch of those eye emojis.
Oh, that's
kinda weird.
safer.
Also, let's go. Brandon, welcome to Paralegal. How's it going, buddy? Darth Bender says, hi, Nick, painting stream anytime soon. Yes, I just talked to Sargon, who just got back to England, and we'll be doing one. I'm hoping to do one this coming week. I just have to check my schedule and see if Az and Sargon are available. But yeah, we'll be doing a painting stream really soon. And Jesus Davila gifted a membership. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Okay, so I talked about the Trump thing. I mean, I went through the Trump thing last night, and I'm probably going to put out a short video on it because I have been just waiting for this damn president immunity claim. I think I have a theory on why they waited, though. I think they wanted Jack Smith to drop everything he had. I think they wanted to give Trump a bunch of free press to respond. And then I think they wanted to eventually have him, assert his innocence, say it's all bullshit, but then pull presidential immunity. Because if he just pulled presidential immunity from the start, it would look evasive. Like, oh, you're hiding behind the technical law rather than what you did. He's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong, but corrupt prosecution. I'm going to pull presidential immunity, but I also didn't do anything wrong. That's my theory. I don't know. Or maybe it just took a while to draft it. I'm not sure.
Well, this was filed in the New York State Court.
DC. This one's DC.
This is the DC one. Okay.
Yeah, the New York State Court is the fraud case still, right? And that one he does not. To my knowledge, he's not asserting presidential immunity, and I don't think he could. Most of those acts are from before he was president. Although I was really annoyed by the Mar-a-Lago valuation by Letitia James.
I saw that. I saw your tweet.
That's only worth
that.
$10, Nick. It's only worth $10.
And when I tweeted it and was making fun of it, I didn't even look at the year at the time. But the year is 2018. So he is the president of the United States in the middle of his term. And they're going to say that Mar-a-Lago, which is synonymous with Trump Organization, the president of the United States, is going to be worth less than $730 million. Like, there's no way.
What is it? 40 acres, a mansion, like a 40,000 square foot mansion. I mean, it's
ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot of problems with it. And I where's that judge screaming and slamming the table about, like, I told you to keep your mouth shut? It's like, he better get ready for that, because if we're talking about breaking gag orders, like it's an egregious violation.
Oh, I hate that gag order so much. That gag order is some bullshit. You're not allowed to talk about me or my staff ever again, right? Like, don't talk about me and my wife's son. Like, can you? He got mad that Trump said the court clerk was was the girlfriend of Chuck Schumer or something like that.
Oh yeah, hung out with him. Yeah,
can't talk about bias.
It's like, wait a minute. You can't talk about a government like a government official. The court clerk isn't critical to this case. And
Nick, I'm not even allowed to wear a goddamn t-shirt.
Yeah. Rule one of government officials is don't talk about government officials.
Yeah, that's right in the Constitution, right at the top.
Either return that t-shirt or burn it.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding everything that follows, don't make fun of a court clerk online. Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution, the legislative power shall be vested. It's like, can you imagine?
But it's just the thing, like, if he's been given this gag order, yet she does this, I mean, that's even worse. She's the state. Like, this violates so many rules by doing that.
I went through this last night. I would love opinions either in support or against. As much as I want to say that she violated ethical rules, I don't think she did. Because the trial publicity rule in New York says that you cannot make a false statement in a criminal matter or a jury triable civil matter. And this is a bench trial. And I think it has to be a bench trial under the weird, rare real estate section they brought in under 63(1), which I'm not super familiar with. But I know New York has a bunch of very specialized courts for different things. And I think that is the only shield that Letitia James has. I think it should be an ethics violation, to be clear. But I just think under the lettering of the rule, because it's supposed to be only for civil matters, which this is, that are triable before a jury, and this is a bench trial. I think that gets her out. What do you guys think about that?
Well, if that's the reading of the law, I mean, it sounds like a kind of a shitty law, but
I can pull it up.
There's a few of those out there.
Yeah, just a few.
I
I'll pull up the documents.
ultimately, they're never going to punish her, even if she could come out and say all kinds of nasty shit, and they would never hold her accountable for it anyway. So,
right.
I mean, like, let's
But
be
I
real.
want to be able to yell at her that she did violate the rule.
No, she is. Like, this would be unacceptable. Don't we have a gag order? Nobody's supposed to talk about this.
No, they're only not supposed to talk about the court staff. That's the gag order. I love that.
Because Trump called her a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither side is supposed to talk about the court staff. It's like, oh yeah, the New York Attorney General side was going to be talking about the court staff left and right. Yeah, they definitely. That's an even-handed order. But so here's the rule. But here's the thing. So they reasonably should know will be disseminated by means of public communication. Will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing an adjudicative proceeding in the matter, and then it clears that up. It's ordinarily likely to prejudice materially an adjudicative proceeding when it refers to a civil matter triable to a jury, a criminal matter, or any other proceeding that could result in incarceration, and the statement relates to. I don't think this could result in incarceration, and it's not criminal, and it's not triable to a jury. So I think by that cold read, I think that's it.
Does the state have the right to request a jury trial in a civil matter? Or
yeah, they could have. I was, for as much as law Twitter is garbage at times, there was a New York attorney that I follow where he says, I guess the way the state filed it, they demanded a bench trial, and Trump's attorneys never asked for a jury trial. So,
Trump's attorney pushed back on that.
Pushed back on the bench trial?
Push back on the fact that she didn't ask for the jury trial. She said because of the particular way it was brought. Okay, here we go. Trump lawyer Alina Habba said on Fox News this week, under 63 sub 12, which is what this case is, you don't have an absolute right to a jury. So, but that might mean that they fucked up. But she's asserting they didn't fuck up.
What would he get? A New York jury? I mean, how would that help him?
I don't see how it's not a jury trial, right? Because that's a due process issue, like licensure, like your business. I don't see how they're allowed to take that without a jury.
So it's New York Executive Law 6312. I'm trying to find it real quick and see.
Well, I'm just disappointed. My brain was still back in OnlyFans, and I thought a gag order was something completely different.
I'm sure she does those too.
Hey, listen, guys, I'm going to have to sign off. I got an early day tomorrow. Thank you, Nick, for having me on. Thanks all you guys for being here. And it's been great hanging out with you, but I'm going to say goodnight. So
see you, Andrew.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Andrew. Brother.
Yep.
See you soon. Well, that was Andrew Branca, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Law of
It's a seminar on doing OnlyFans. lawselfdefense.com/OnlyFans.
Now I'm trying to find, so I've got the section pulled up and I'm trying to find where it says anything about a jury.
Law self-defense. Choke me, daddy.
Let's see, grand jury matters. lawofselfdefense.com/choke me, daddy for the latest lawofselfdefense.com OnlyFans content, your exclusive content to self-defending against that ass.
Did I hear earlier that he is going to auction off his shirt?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to do so sometime this week. Once he gets the auction site set up and running, we're going to do a read of the letter on the show. We may draft a response. I may draft a response live on the show, and he will be auctioning off the shirt, and the proceeds will go to a charity that supports Second Amendment.
You know, if she really did check out his social media, how did she not know that this was going to be all over YouTube, all over?
They didn't check it out in that. They said it's so because women, and then they we can't do this. She clearly didn't look too in depth.
They did not look that good. No,
I never know, right? Like, because I'll get weird letters from time to time from attorneys in some cases, and it's like, I'm like, do you like not in the hilarious way that I want to do? Believe me, this is on my list. But do you know who I am? Like, not because I'm so important, but do you realize the asshole you are trying to shove something into? Like, it is not accepting right now. Like, we will repel this as far as, because I want to do the thing. Like, my life goal is to fund something hilariously and have my name in giant letters and have a bench in front of it. And then I want to, like a drunk vagrant, pass out under a sheet of newspapers and be asked to leave so I can get up and be like, you know who I am. I'm right on the sign. That's my name. Like, I want to do that one time on camera. But In the other sense, though, like you do realize I'm going to ruthlessly mock you, right? Like that is what's going to happen. It's the only law and crime. Like you guys have watched my show. Like, you know that if you tell me that I can't use your stupid broadcast, I'm going to make fun of you eternally, right? Like, but no, apparently they never know who you are at all, actually, which is kind of sad. Means I'm not as important as I think I am.
It's too bad. Well, they'll get your letter.
Yeah.
Let me read these YouTube super chats, and then we'll pop over to Rumble, and then I want to go through that stabbing of the social justice guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just so many bad moves over and over.
Have you guys seen the full unedited video, uncensored video?
Not the
No,
full
I just see a return to a blurry mark.
Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
I've got the full one.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the comic on Twitter with the G Prime guy? He does all of it, and it's like, watch out, the blurry thing has a knife.
Oh, that Alexopoulos guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
His cartoons are fucking perfect. Yeah. Lamar76 Metal says, hey, Nick, can you address this? You can address this after the switch if you want, but knowing you hate public schools, should they have access to your kids' vaccine records? No. Period. No. No, I don't think a public school should have any say. I know that the public health argument, quote unquote, collides with and tips the scales in favor of public interest when it comes to your kids' medical privacy. But no, I do not think public schools should have any ability to request your child's vaccine status records or anything else, or require vaccines at all. And I know that's that.
Is there an opt-out in Minnesota?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
The opt-out is
Michigan, there is.
homeschool. The opt-out is homeschooling, as far as I know. But there may be some religious exemption, but I think it has to be like a bona fide one. Right? So, like, if you're Catholic, you're not getting a vaccine exemption.
Yeah, if you are, if you have any sort of moral objection, you get a class. Parents have to show up to the school board and take a class on the importance of vaccines, but you can eventually opt out.
This is what polio looks like.
I am and I am a parent who is fully comfortable with the normal regimen of vaccines. The vaccines I do not take and have not given my.
You mean the ones that actually work?
Right, like the ones with the history,
the actual vaccines.
Right, and I don't know if we did chickenpox though. I can't remember if we did that or not. I don't know. But
well, when we were kids, the vaccine chicken pox was going over to the neighbors that had chicken pox. Yeah. That's how you got vaccinated.
One kid got it, and everyone shuffled them around.
Yeah, the parents actually brought their kids to get chicken pox. They're like, oh, finally, one of these little assholes got it. I had chicken pox. I don't think I was ever vaccinated against it. I just can't remember what we did with our kids on that particular thing. But in general, like, we're okay with most of the vaccines for the younger ones, but the flu vaccine I don't get. And
it's a crapshoot anyways, because they don't know what strain it is. They throw 3 or 4 in there and like, good luck.
And I end up getting all of those. I get all of those and I hate them. And then the COVID vaccine I don't do either, because it's the same bullshit. Like, you don't know anything about this. I don't trust this at all. No, thank you. But like, I'm not an anti-vax person, generally speaking, is my thing. But I do not think that the public school system should have any say in that. And I know that's controversial because, like, oh, you're going to get a typhoid outbreak. Yeah, homeschool your kids. Take them out of public school. If one more reason to get other parents to take their kids out of school, there you go. Take them out. Take them out. The public school is cancer, and it should be bled and starved of its funding and its support as much as possible.
It's a constant battle. My son's in, both of my kids are in public school, but my daughter graduated, but my son's still in, and it's a constant battle of like re-education, like every day when you get back home from school. Not math and science so much, but there's some other topics that they discuss in school.
Absolutely.
And
And I'm a product of public school. My wife is a product of public school. We didn't have a moral objection when we started homeschooling because things weren't so bad back then. They were worse than
an advertisement for homeschooling your children right there. Jeez.
Yeah, they'll turn out like me. But no, it's become like nowadays, if we had to start making the decision, one of the primary concerns would be the moral and principled perspective. It's like, No, our kid was just really ahead of his. He would be so ahead of his class when he went into kindergarten that it would have been silly to put him into public school. But just because he was reading and writing at 2, late 2, but still 2. It's like, well, how's he going to go to kindergarten in a couple years and then start learning letters? This is ridiculous. As far as everything else, the public school system's become such a mess. And in Minnesota, it is a nightmare. Keenan says, can we please get a prayer for my wife, Lindsay, and I? We've suffered the miscarriage of our first child. Promised ourselves to keep trying, but this has taken such a toll. Thanks for all you do. Keenan, yes, I will pray off stream, but I will do the agnostics prayer, which is a toast for you. And I'm going to offer a little word of encouragement and a suggestion. Because well, here we go. Keenan, a toast to you, your wife, and your first baby waiting for you by the end. With that, may you guys find comfort, peace, understanding with each other, and also with the situation. Soldier on. Of course, children are a blessing, and this is the risk of that blessing. But a toast to your welcome and earned sorrow in the temporary. With that, dude, go get, honestly, don't wait for specialized help. If you can get it, don't wait for it. We went through 3 miscarriages in a row. When we eventually got to a doctor, a fertility specialist, checked us out. We're both completely normal. What they found, though, was that by supplementing a specific hormone during the beginning of the pregnancy, which apparently my wife's body just didn't produce in the early stages, we never had trouble again. It was literally just that one thing. So go there, establish that you have this risk, and get some things that can. And the cool thing about that hormone is the way you take it. It's not like it's bad if you already produce it. It's just something that can help and won't hurt. So go check it out. Talk to doctors. Don't linger if you're going to try and have kids, because it is soul crushing every time. Not to give you a bright future, but it sucks every time. So Scott E, I've turned 27. I've lost a decent bit of weight, down to 170. My goal for the year, I humbly ask if you can provide a toast. Cheers, brother. 170 pounds. You hit your goal for the year. The year isn't even close to over. To maintenance and to the achievement of the next goal, which, if you're like me, hopefully is to add some muscles and stop being a sad sack of garbage. Cheers, man. Della Sandor says, thank you for real truth. Thank you, Della. Tara Rayner, Branca made me laugh so effing hard today. I have such a hard time accepting these people are real. If she isn't mumbling how effing dumb she is for licking the envelope, then she needs to get off bong. Yeah, I can't imagine getting angry enough to send a letter to anybody.
You know what's interesting is she didn't email it.
Yeah,
no, it's a physical letter.
Some of the dumbest people you will ever meet in your life are the bar association people. Just
Yes.
not you, Utah, mind you. The other bar associations.
Now, Utah, you're fucking dumb too.
The other United States are assholes.
Oh, and by the way, you in Minnesota, you guys suck too. Hate all of you. And
I
that's
love
not
my
just the
Michigan
bar.
bar. My Michigan bar does nothing wrong. They are the greatest.
Well, the
Well, I
Minnesota
can say
bar,
the Ohio Bar Association. Fuck them, because they don't govern anything.
same with the Minnesota bar. They don't govern anything. But here you go, guys. I'm also talking about you. Yeah. The Lawyers Professional Responsibility Board for entertaining this bullshit and making me actually write responses to shit you know is ridiculous. Just because they keep coming in doesn't mean they're valid, guys. Come on. Get your heads out of your asses. Anyway, Victory Lane Exotic says Branca gave her dating advice inadvertently. Branca is like the dating advice promotion at McDonald's. Like when you go through and you buy a Happy Meal and you get dating advice with it, like that's him. It's like, this isn't what I asked for, but you get it every time. I love it. Molester. Sorry. Says, personally, I think having an OnlyFans should be a requirement for all police officers. You know what? I accept this.
For all, really?
All
I've seen it.
officers.
I've seen a few.
I've seen a few, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know. Oh, you want to
I guess we don't have
me?
to watch them all.
You want to arrest me? I want to make fun of you in inches, brother.
We do that, then they'll go home and beat their wives even more. So I don't know if that's a good thing. Google 41% police. Like, there's more than 41% kids. It's not just for troons.
Well, they
thing
got the
is, I didn't-
chokeout hold down, so that's already there.
I didn't realize that the police officer population had so much in common with lesbians. Domestic violence.
Yes.
In
I think
case you were wondering.
when I open for Chrissy's show, I'm going to open with that one. Tara Rayner says Discovery exhibits at trial would be hilarious on the OnlyFans. Yeah. Trenton Paul says, has he watched it again? Oh, dude, you cannot tell me that dude did not go home and rewatch every video of that officer after telling her he doesn't respect her. Oh, he definitely went home. He took his pants off, turned the lights off, and went to Marathon Town.
Okay, so this is the thing, though. How much does he watch that he recognized her by face with clothes on?
It took him 10 minutes, he said.
10 minutes? 10 minutes?
Now,
they need to get that snotty little 15-year-old kid on there. Why are you like this, you ignorant police officer? Why are you showing your body to everyone? Respect yourself.
No, I'm going to say, though, I don't have the pictures pulled up anymore, as far as you know. Oh, here's a news story. Does it have her picture in there? She does have, and I'm sensitive to this, she does have a very distinct nose. So I do think actually the recognition of the faces, this article didn't have the
not only Ashkenazi fans.
Let's see. But yeah, okay, here she is again. So let me pull this up. Share. Here we go.
Like I recognize you from somewhere.
Yeah, she has it. Of course, it's not really visible in this, but she has a fairly distinct face. And plus, you don't normally run into police officers who actually look like presentable.
Does she have a filters that kind of sucks everything into the middle? It's like everything. I was gonna say too small and collected.
It's either edited or she has a hard time breathing.
Those are really small nostrils.
And her eyes are too close together, and her mouth is too small to eat food. It's just like she's got a black hole in the middle of her face.
Maybe her nostrils
that's why she's doing OnlyFans. It suits her.
Maybe her nostrils are swollen from the latest insertion videos. I don't know. I don't judge what people do. I don't know on that one. Della Sandor says Branca potentially criminal. Nick, heart you guys. Critical says, I don't know if he was ticketed, but he definitely got off. Sean Green, what about video shop where you look naked but not? Video shop where you look naked but not. I don't know what that means. Oh, like an edited video? Brian Miller says, what about the teacher from Missouri that was just found to have OnlyFans? Yeah. That's mentioned in the article. Yeah, a teacher having OnlyFans is really tough because if the kids are old enough, like if you're teaching teenagers, they're gonna find it.
Oh yeah.
Once anybody finds that thing, it's going everywhere. And then how could you possibly have control of a classroom of horny like 15-year-old boys? Like there's no way.
Yeah.
And then if not the teachers or if not the students, the dads. Some dad is gonna know, and it's gonna get around to everybody. Look. If you're that chick was making $8 to $10 grand a month, why are you still a teacher?
Because OnlyFans doesn't provide dental. Well, not that kind of dental.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I think it does.
Bagging her teeth, but
yeah, I don't know. Like, and this chick, I cannot imagine. I don't know how big her OnlyFans was, but if it was making any amount of money, I cannot imagine going out and doing police work. Like, why would you do hard work if you're on OnlyFans?
The handcuffs.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, remember though, she's doing OnlyFans, so she's not.
Well, she's got to have a job that she could tell her parents about.
Yeah, I guess that's it. And I don't know.
I don't know though. In America today, I think probably being it's like in Rush Hour. Chris Tucker's like, I work for the LAPD. I tell my mom I'm a drug dealer. So, I mean, it's probably better. I mean,
I
don't respect the police, so she has a little more respect.
The police are sitting here talking about, oh, wow, you can't do OnlyFans because it impairs your ability to do police work. Bitch, I think the fact that she's a police officer up walking around makes me distrust the quality of her OnlyFans work. Like, I don't know if you're into it, if you're getting up and running the next day. That's all I'm saying. Like, you should be sitting there with electrolyte water.
The bait is just want to be grabbed and shoved up against a wall and handcuffed,
Cuff me, mommy.
Yeah, exactly. Arrest me.
Yeah. Tara says, wait till she finds out her newest members are city council and her precinct colleagues. Awkward. I don't know.
There's already colleagues that know about it and have been paying her. Guarantee it.
Damn it, you're ruining it for us, dude.
This is one of those things that weirds me out because I have through this weird platform we're on, right? I have met a couple people who either have since meeting them opened OnlyFans, or I meet them and they have OnlyFans existing. Now, I haven't gone to any of their pages because OnlyFans is weird. I don't understand paying for pornography in general, but like also, I don't know if I want to see my
OnlyFans
friends
gives
naked.
people. Yeah, but it's like, well, that's an issue. But OnlyFans is like for the guys who are. It's like going to the strip club and having the stripper call you honey, but you don't actually have to go to the strip club. That's basically what it's turned into.
Oh,
get that
What's
personal
worse,
information.
having an OnlyFans account or an account on Pornhub?
On Pornhub. Wait. So like a subscriber account on OnlyFans, not a creator account, right?
Subscriber
account.
account. Or
on-
having a subscriber account on Pornhub.
I think Pornhub's the weirder one.
That's what I think too. Because you're
Yeah,
not
Pornhub's free,
interacting.
though.
You're just interacting with others that are
Because like Pornhub's free.
subscribing.
Yeah, so that's
Like
you're not paying for it. So that's a smart move.
OnlyFans, you have to have an account. Like even the free OnlyFans accounts, you have to do the sign up thing. So it's like Pornhub's like, you don't have to do that. You just do that if you want like them to save your preferences or something, which is like, is that?
Well, you could trade, you know.
Like, do you need them to do that for you? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's very
I don't have
strange to me.
account anywhere except for YouTube. But I just think it's weirder to have the Pornhub.
Shockingly, yeah, as degenerate as I am, I don't either. Like it's and I don't have some like moral objection to it. I think a lot of guys like to pretend that they do have a moral objection to it and don't like to admit that they fail that moral objection in general. But that being said, like I'm the guy who probably would have one, but I just never made one anywhere. And the OnlyFans thing though is weird to me. I'll have to ask them, like, do you care if people you know see your content? Because that would weird me out, I think. Like, I'd be much more comfortable being naked around people I've never met than being like, oh,
yeah,
hello, friend. Like, that's a different thing, right? I think.
of course.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
In y'all's experience of being naked around your friends, which one's worse?
I don't know if I've been naked around my friends.
Well, maybe they've been naked around you.
I'm trying to think if I ever have. Because I've been in some silly shenanigans, but not really with friends ever. Like I've there was one of those things online that someone shared, Eric Hunley shared, and it was like one point for everything on the list you haven't done. And I realized that he put like 7. I was like, oh shit, I'm a 4. One of the things was like gone skinny dipping. It's like, well, I've gone skinny dipping, but I didn't actually go skinny dipping with friends. Like that wasn't
yeah, that would be no, I know that's weird.
And I wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know what incidents I would have to be naked around people I know that often. Anyway.
I mean, I have family members that aren't ashamed of throwing it out there, but that's not me.
Right. Me too. And that's weird. I'm like, just not around me, please. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that when I shake your hand. Wrestler Town says, oh, wait, through analysis of your sex moves, I've determined that you are not skilled enough to arrest me. Leave now with your dignity, but keep your life. Automata says, in response to being told that she didn't have any authority over the driver, the officer reportedly shouted, taser, taser, taser. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. Mandalore Wise 01, Rackets, next time you're passing through Cincinnati, you have to stop by Camp Washington Chili. Best chili in Cincinnati.
Oh.
But is that like actually good chili, or is that just like saying the best
I don't know.
chili in prison?
Cincinnati chili is basically chili with like spaghetti noodles. That's all it is.
Chili with noodles?
Like, yeah, they take spaghetti noodles and they put the chili on top.
But you got to understand, I'm from
not
Texas,
sure.
where chili is just meat and peppers ground up into a sauce.
Yes, in Texas they're retarded and it's just meat paste, which is ridiculous.
Meat paste? No,
Yeah,
it's big chunks of meat. It's delicious.
It's still it's nasty.
He prefers his noodles.
No, I put beans in chili. No, Cincinnati chili is
detecting
disgusting.
My communism indicator is going off.
Yeah, well, I'm detecting a country that didn't go broke and barely beat Mexico's ass. That was Texas. So,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
saying.
Adrian Robledo says, Mexican editor. There's some good clips from this. Delisandro says, here's my gag sheets. Cindy Lou Hoot says, welcome to Paralegal. And Delisandro says, just love you, Nick. Thank you for the knowledge, challenges, and fun Fridays. With that, guys, we're going to pop over to Rumble and continue the show over there. The link is in the description and in the
one more fan interaction. See, Goody. Are you ready for me to put my balls on your chin yet? Because you were, you told me you're going to get those receipts, but my balls are aching and your chin's a good landing pad for them. So get that dusted off. I don't want razor burn.
Goody, what did you do?
I feel like
what is going? Yeah, I'm missing some context.
You're missing somebody getting put in their place. Somebody talks shit and, just make sure that when they hit you, you call back.
All right.
As the song goes.
I see nice warm balls in the chat.
Wow, now I know that there's drama between Sean and C. Goody, and it will have a dramatic ball sack landing.
No, there's not drama. That's like saying there's drama between a sledgehammer and an ant.
Holy fuck. Which one's the sledgehammer?
I don't know. You're a smart kid. You could figure it out.
Tara Rayner says, during the Ontario, New York, and Detroit blackout years ago. Well, that's not very nice. We broke into the town outdoor pool to skinny dip, put a portable stop sign at a low-income townhouse complex, wrote "No Daddy Alley" on it. There you go.
All right.
That's a thing you can do. All right, guys, we're going to pop over to Rumble. I'll see you guys in just a couple seconds there. Again, links in the description. It is also in the pinned chat. If you do not come to Rumble, you have one fucking job. And that is to subscribe to everyone on this panel other than me, Sean, Dave, and Jeff. Go subscribe to them. Check out their content. Support their channel growth. More good voices, getting more recognition on the platforms that you like. And since you guys apparently like YouTube, go check them out on YouTube. Otherwise, come to Rumble and also subscribe to them. We'll catch you guys in 25 seconds. Until next time, peace. Peace.